Well, after that conversation, of course, it is still the theme of Father's Day and giving you every reason to get into it. And something's releasing tomorrow that you might want to take your father to. Let's find out. Of course, you guessed it. The one and only JP Sebastian!
Whoa.
How you doing, bro?
I really thought this was going to be a horrible segment. When you said, no, since it's Father's Day, I was like, oh my goodness, is this a great reveal? Did you get my DNA somewhere? I should throw a chair and run around. I'm not the dad.
No, don't stress. We're all good. We're all good. We've been behaving. But how are you, bro? You good?
I'm pretty good, and I'm always excited when a Pixar movie comes around.
Yes.
Do you remember the last one you saw? You obviously had Up, you had Wall-E, you had Turning Red, you had Soul.
Up and Soul, yes. The others I haven't actually seen, but right up here.
You know that Pixar knocks it out the park.
They put effort, they put emotion in, they put a lot more of the things that you don't expect from the animation.
They mess with your emotions.
Are they doing it again?
We'll find out shortly. I'll give you a little rundown. But before all that, the movie is Elemental. It releases tomorrow in South African cinemas. And it's a story about, well, two elements, fire and water. The lady being fire and the male being water. And they are sort of like, you know, can they work out in this situation? The scene that we're about to show you is the boy sneaking into the family restaurant where he's not necessarily accepted, but he has to try and work his way around to please the father as a fake taste tester in the restaurant. All right. He is Elemental.
Let's roll it.
You really food inspector?
As far as you know, yeah.
Then inspect this!
Dad.
That shoots.
Yep, all looks good to me.
No. Inspect with your mouth. Ow.
You see? He likes it.
I love that.
Opposites attract.
That's like me when you eat a chili. That's really cool, though. I was weirdly enough like engaged in wanting to know what's going to happen.
Racked.
Is it going to melt? Is it going to mist up? Is it going to boil?
Well, and obviously then this is the larger question of like how do fire and water connect eventually?
So this is like a play on yin-yang, on polarities.
In a way, yeah. And funny enough, you mentioned yin-yang because as far as the elements, I suppose maybe more aligned with Chinese mythology, but there's others as well. It's not necessarily periodic.
So we've got water, we've got fire. What else?
Wood.
Wood.
We got, well, wood's an element in some cultures.
Yeah, for sure.
And then wind, I suppose, or they're clouds. It's really hard to say. It's strange it didn't include Earth. It's like you'd have a whole soundtrack right there.
Yeah, you've got the whole band.
Terrible.
I love that, man. But look, I'm here for it, dude. I'm absolutely here for it. And it's something that is, for me, different. And I'm here for that, too, because it's very rare that you get different these days.
Oh, well, I mean, animation is usually the one that has to knock it out the park. I mean, we just had Spider-Verse. We had... speaking of...
from that.
Speaking of woohoo, we had Super Mario, which actually wasn't too bad for Illumination, the Minions people.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Pixar. Now, Pixar has a strong track record. Like I just said, Wall-E, you've got Up. Inside Out blew my mind. I just recently watched Soul. Why did none of you tell me about Soul? It's incredible.
It is a part of life. You need to watch that to move forward in life.
And so here's the first stumbling block for this movie. Is now you've got Inside Out, which dealt with, you know, these primordial emotions. You have Soul, which deals with, well, what is the nature of being? And then you go Elemental, and you think, oh, you're going to delve back into this deep metaphysical, philosophical exploration about the most elementary particles of existence. And unfortunately, if you go into the cinema that way, you're going to realize that it's just a rom-com, which isn't a bad thing. It's a romance.
Okay.
And so opposites attract. And like I said, you know, can these two things work out? And they've got to figure this out for themselves. Now, as far as the Pixar standard, it does not stand up to it. I mean, for a start, just for me, like character design, I'm not too wild about the character design of this. They sort of look like, you know, no-name disinfectants and charcoal briquettes. Whereas, you know, even on Up, the grandpa has this boxy, stubborn look about him. You know, the animation lends itself. But it's obviously pretty to look at. Pixar knows exactly what they're doing. The problem is, though, is that it's not knocking it out the park in the same way the previous ones did, and it's not necessarily... I mean, just speaking about like Pixar's characteristic things of working your heartstrings and putting on the waterworks for you, they really try to rush to that sentimentality real quick. Whereas like Soul hits you in the soul when it knows the time is right. It tries to rush to the plate a bit here. And aside from that, if you look down at your phone for even a second while you're watching this movie, you're going to miss out whole janky parts where it's just like, why did this move along in the way it did? The chemistry is sort of breaking in a way that if it was given more fluidity, if it was given more feel and time to stew, etc., then I think that it would have done a lot better. But so that's just by Pixar standards.
Yeah.
It's not.
Which means, and the bar is quite high there, man.
It is very high.
I need more reason to get involved in this. You got anything else?
So the story being is that the daughter, as well as this, opposites attract type thing, is supposed to take over the business of the dad. Is it what she really wants, though? But she knows the work that he's put in. She gets in trouble in the business because she allows water into the fire restaurant by mistake, and the public works of the city, which is pretty much like Zootopia. Wants a word about it, and now she's trying to stop the process with water guy who works for public works who realizes shame. Everything's on the line for the family. It's a shot from Elemental. Clip from it.
Hey, Fern. How you doing?
Living the dream.
You know those citations I just gave you from Firetown?
I was about to send them to Mrs. Cumulus, then get sprayed for fungus rot.
Wait! Tell him what you told me about your dad and letting him down?
No, that's personal.
It really got to me. He might feel it too. Her dad will be
Nope.
super disappointed in her.
Stop it!
He might even be ashamed.
What are you doing?
But the main thing is, if her father can't retire, it will be all embers.
Stop talking!
Looks like I'm going home early today.
All right, I see you. So for me, in a nutshell, it seems to be more fun than deep, right?
No, so there's the thing is that, well, you're in the shadow now of Pete Docter, who just did Inside Out. I was just talking to our cameraman, Sean, about that. Blew his mind last week. The focus, the level of philosophical inquiry, how profound those movies are, is insane. Soul is Heideggerian to the core. Other German philosophy.
Wow.
Never mind. This, however, like I said, just watch it as a romance, but even then, unfortunately, in its flow, is surprisingly broken. And ha-ha, for the female fire character, I have to say, surprising misfire for Pixar. Yeah, it doesn't stand up to the bar, and so it only gets 6 out of 10 from JP.
6 out of 10? That's not bad. I think it's still a reason for us to get involved.
You got kids as well.
Yeah.
Duh, they like watching movies too.
This could be a good day out, I think. It looks
And
fun.
at least it's pacey enough and moves enough and is kinetic enough, has enough sort of like excitement and roller coaster to it for the little ones, but not necessarily the large soul or heart of the previous Pixar movies.
Beautiful stuff. JP Sebastian, thank you so much for coming through, giving us a reason and giving us more reason to entertain the pops and the family and maybe do this tomorrow because, yes, it's releasing tomorrow. Oh, yeah. So get your tickets, get involved, and let JP Sebastian know what you thought of the movie.